and welcome to Ask Me About K-Pop, the essential guide for recent converts and seasoned fans alike. My name is Shannon, and I am joined this day, as I am in all days, in my heart, by my best friend, Angelica. Angelica, how are you?
I'm great, Shannon. That was really sweet. Thanks.
I'm feeling very sweet. It's my wedding anniversary today.
Happy anniversary.
Thanks. 1 year.
Wait, today, this
actual day that we're recording it.
And you're spending it with me?
Yes.
Sorry, Wade.
It's okay. We already did our celebrating this weekend, but it's been a year since my K-poppy wedding.
Wow, what a magical day that was.
Yeah. Angelica got me a little laminated printout of SHINee, and I put them in my bouquet, so they were like with me.
Because SHINee, that fateful day, was in the U.S.
Yeah.
Because of Shannon's wedding, we missed out on seeing SHINee's world tour, the first world tour that they brought to North America.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. So we brought them to us.
Yeah. Yeah, and Angelica walked down the aisle to SHINee. It was very lovely. We started the reception with Fantastic Baby by Big Bang.
And Lucky One by EXO was
That was
in
one of the
somewhere.
first dances. Yeah. So that was great.
Good memories.
Good times. So anyway, today we're going to be talking about an essential element of K-pop, which is K-pop albums.
Yes.
What we're talking about, though, is like the physical albums, not just a collection of tracks that you buy on iTunes or whatever.
Right.
Because K-pop albums are not your standard CD in a jewel case. There's a lot more to it, which is what we're going to be getting into today. It's very interesting and unique for sure.
It definitely sets it apart from the American music industry, kind of in the history of American pop music. I don't remember CDs being... I mean, I guess records would be slightly different. Like record packaging can get really intricate with like 3D covers and like pop-up book kind of style. But for the actual CDs, and currently for CDs, like people don't really make a big deal out of the packaging itself.
No, not really. But yeah, that's a really integral part of K-pop albums. So we'll get into that. But we got to backtrack a little tiny bit and talk about an element of K-pop album releases that makes them special, and that is the teaser portion of an album release or a comeback, as we brought up in another episode. Companies, in order to build up tension and excitement for new albums, will go through like a teaser period of time where you get just like an image, one member a day, like a picture of somebody. And some companies do teaser videos, which are also equally like no time and you don't see anything.
Yeah, you get maybe 5 seconds, and there are usually clips from the music video of the lead single that's about to be released, and the teaser images themselves, like just the pictures, they sort of reveal the concept of this current album, right? We've talked about concepts before. So each album that comes out a lot of times like takes on sort of a different look, and so the teaser images are how they sort of reveal it one by one.
Yeah, and you get to see like, oh, that's what their hair looks like this time. Like, oh, a red mullet, really? Like the teaser.
Oh, sometimes they're bad.
Sometimes they're bad, but they're always exciting. So you have your teaser images to hype it all up. And then the actual album comes out. Now, how do we begin with K-pop albums? I looked into like the history of it to try to see how long today's packaging has been a thing. And it seems to have started like around where people say the second or the golden generation began, which is like 2007, 2008. Before then, K-pop groups like HOT, Sex SES, all those early groups, cassette tapes, because it was the 90s. So just cassette tapes or CDs if they had it with your little trifold lyric book.
Standard, same as US, kind of like that bye, and they're all in the pictures with these puppet strings.
Pretty much, yeah, just that simple CD stuff. Then in the second generation, people were starting to step their game up. So I actually read this in a book. It's a wonderful book. I recommend it to a lot of people. I recommend it to any listener who wants.
A lot of people.
Not
all people, but a lot of people.
I recommend this book to anybody who wants to know more about Korean pop culture and how it came to be. It's called The Birth of Korean Cool and the author is Uni Hong. It's a really good book. She said in this book that this style of packaging came from when the Hallyu wave was starting to reach further than Korea, and that Japanese consumers are still, like, they are very, very into packaging. Like cool packaging and extravagant packaging, or like, you know, architect, like they love packaging.
Because there's all those like YouTube videos of people just opening things or putting things together, like the little teensy toys and stuff. So I feel, it's like a niche.
So it's cited in this book that, like, in a way to continue the international fandom and like kind of court these like Japanese collectors who would like be into the packaging of stuff, that's when all of this extravagance began.
Yeah, because it's really about creating collectibles. Like,
Yes.
that's what each one of these albums are, and that's why they strive to be special and unique.
Because it's really like the CD inside is kind of the least important part, honestly.
Because you can buy the music on iTunes
Yeah.
or digitally, and like how many people are really using CDs nowadays? Like, you don't even have a CD player in your car.
Which is the reason why I don't actually own any K-pop albums. I think I prefer, when showing my K-pop fandom and wasting money on fandom things, albums is not the way that I've ever gone. I choose other things, which we can talk about in another episode. But you have one.
I have one, but it was a gift. I didn't purchase it for myself, but a friend of mine was like walking through some festival in San Francisco and spotted a K-pop booth, and so she bought me Shiny's One of One. But it wasn't the special packaging of it. I mean, it was special packaging. We can talk about it later, but
yeah,
that's the
okay.
only one I
So I
have.
think we need to like backtrack a second, because I've just been talking about how these albums are different, but we haven't explained why they're different. So I feel like the standard kind of packaging, it's much bigger than a square CD case. They're usually not square.
Yeah, they're usually rectangular. A lot of times they're sort of hardcover book sized, but they can come in all shapes and sizes,
yes.
truly.
But I feel like standard is just like rectangular, about book size, like taller than a CD and much thicker than a CD.
Yes.
And that's because they are full of goodies. It's not just the CD in there. You get, one of the biggest elements is the photo book.
And that's kind of like, if you're going to make a super basic package, it would just be like maybe an elaborate like hard cover for like a pretty box or something. And then on the inside you have the CD, and then you just have a photo book. And then they sort of like build up from there.
Right. And they go from there. Yeah. So the photo books are taking the little sleeve in the jewel case like to the farthest level. Sometimes like photo books can be range from all kinds of pages. I know that my favorite EXO member, when he put his Chinese solo album this year, there were 200 pages in his photo book.
Yeah, I thought it was 300.
Was it?
I am like 98% sure that it was 300
Yeah.
pages. And each one was just a photo of him, right?
Yeah.
Like, sometimes the photo books also include the lyrics, but sometimes they're in separate books.
Yeah, there's like, that's the fun and the surprise of all of this, is you like never know what you're going to get. Like in the Shiny Sherlock album, each member got a photo book. So it came with 6 books in it. The like lyric booklet with all the group pictures, and then each member got their own photo book.
That's amazing. And then there's also some that are kind of like a grab bag. Like, each package has something that's member specific, whether it's a little photo card or like printed on the CD, and you might not know which one you're getting.
Yes. Photo cards are like another huge element of these. Not every company does them, and I was researching, and some companies like guarantee you a photo card no matter what album you're buying. Like some, they don't put photo cards in all of them. Whatever. They're just basically like trading card size, and you never know what member or what picture you're going to get, which then puts like another collectible trading element to it. Like it was a huge section at the gift shop at the SM place, is photo card binders that have the plastic sheeting. Like for
Pokemon cards.
Yeah. Like for baseball cards, Pokemon cards, you get all your K-pop.
Oh yeah, baseball cards would have been the like more reasonable.
That's fine.
I'm an adult.
No, that's good. Usually we end up sounding really old, so I feel like saying Pokemon cards might have saved us a little bit.
It's because I teach 10-year-olds. They still like Pokemon.
Yeah. So photo cards, and then that always is like a thing right after albums come out. Fans will be getting on like forums and Twitters and stuff and like trying to trade.
Yeah, so the one K-pop album that I have is Shiny's One of One, and the packaging that I have, so they released it in two ways, one of which is the one that I have, which is an actual CD, and it is the size of a regular CD case, but it's much thicker because it has this like clear plastic sleeve to hold everything together, and one of it is like a cardboard cover for the CD, and the other one is the photo book, which has pictures of all of the members, and that album had a 90s like retro theme to it, so all the pictures are really cute and they're silly outfits. But what's really cool about it, since it had that 90s theme or concept, is that each album came with pogs, like those cardboard like pop out the circles like pogs, but so it was member specific, like you didn't know who you were getting. I got keys, and each set of pogs, it comes with like 5 pogs, and they're made of 1 current picture and 4 baby pictures and family pictures,
because they were babies in the 90s and it was the 90s concept, so
it's really cute. I haven't popped any of the pogs, of course.
Right. No, that's the other part about these, and I think we'll get into why in a minute, but definitely like hardcore fans are definitely buying multiples of these albums. Like, you could argue for one to keep nice and one for to pop the pogs out of, but the other reason that people buy so many albums is almost all of them come with some kind of chance to win. Sometimes these come in the form of like scratch off cards or QC codes, or like it just sort of depends on whatever company, how they've set it up, or if they have a promotion with Samsung or whatever, take a picture with your phone. Anyway, and these things will enter you with a chance to win a ticket to a high touch. New vocabulary word, high touch.
And high touch is spelled like HI-touch.
Yes.
Not high like high five.
Right.
HIGH.
Yes, but that's what it implies, because we were going to talk about this in our recent fandom episodes, but because these things are so closely tied to album buying, I saved it for now. But a high touch is a specific kind of fan meet where the group in question will be like sitting all in a line at a table, and then all of the fans just get like ushered through, and you get to like say hey and like high five or shake hands with like all of them, and like and just go through. Like, it's not a very like intimate or long experience, but you get to like come by and be like, hey. And that's a high touch.
And they do those kinds of things at like KCON. They'll have like, you can buy the more expensive packages or whatever, and then you get to go to one of the high touches. Sometimes you don't get to like choose which one you go to. Sometimes that is a grab bag. But how are fan high touches and fan signs different things, or are they technically the same thing?
I think they are a little bit different, because a fan sign, also a kind of another vocabulary word, which is also a thing that you can win in your album that will be like tucked in your album somewhere. A fan sign is where you are going to get your stuff signed by the group. So same concept. They're all at a long table. You go buy each one. But I feel like fan signs are a little bit more intimate and I feel like the rules at high touches tend to be really strict. Like, you can't bring gifts, like you can't touch them other than like your hands, because like that's the point. And it's just sort of like a quick move through. And I think those do often happen before concerts, because it's like, let's get in here. Whereas a fan sign is like they'll set up at a record store, at the mall, or whatever.
And they're there all day.
They're all day, and everybody moves through, and you bring your photo book, and you open it to the page you want them to sign or whatever.
And you can tell them what you want them to write, and they'll, like, usually because they're writing something for you, like, they talk to you a little bit. You can bring them presents. I think that's the main difference, is that at a high touch, it's literally like a hi, hello, and then some kind of touch, but you're not allowed to bring things. Like, they're not giving you autographs at a high touch. You're literally just saying hello.
Yeah. But then, like a fan sign, you get to spend a little bit more time with people. And then that's where lots of cute things happen. Fans saying, or like idols saying cute things to their fans, or a recent trend has been to bring idols flower crowns at fan signs or like things to wear on their heads.
Yeah.
So it's like as you're going through the line, you like give them a cute glow crown and then they put it on and then they get photographed obviously a ton at these fan signs because everyone's there and like waiting in line. And then like, oh, your headband is on them or whatever.
My favorite thing about fan signs is that sometimes the members will grant small fan requests. Like I saw a really cute one. I can't remember which member of EXO it was, but it was during one of their Kpop fan signs, which was from the summer of 2017. And a fan like asked somebody for their autograph and then asked if they would put a barrette in her hair.
Oh,
like they
yeah.
gave the member of, I want to say it was Baekhyun, but I could be wrong.
I feel like, no, I don't know.
I can't, maybe it was Jungdae. I don't remember.
Maybe it was Dio. Maybe it was Kai. I don't know.
I don't think it was Dio.
Was it Suho? I don't know.
I really don't remember, but anyway, not important. The member, the idol, like she like gave him a little clip and he like carefully put it in her hair and then he looked at it and he didn't like it, so he like fixed it for her. It was so cute.
Yeah, fan signs are adorable. A lot of cute stuff happens at them. But the only way to get to go is to buy these physical albums.
Yes.
So it's really like it's important. It's important as a fan to do, but
They can get very intricate and over the top. So like I wrote down a couple.
Okay,
of
yeah. Let's talk about some examples of
the packaging. So I just sort of Googled like fan favorites of different packaging. Speaking about collectibles and like wanting to get multiple albums, Girls' Generation, I Got a Boy album.
Yes.
So that was sort of made to buy all 9 of them because each one was enormous. It was like this big hardcover book size, right? It didn't look like a book, but that's what it was. That's kind of the size of it. And it had this like big plastic cover that was like printed really cute. So it was like clear, but printed with like the members and stuff.
Yeah.
So you could sort of like see through to the image beneath. It came with a big member so each one was like color coded. You had to buy each one because they were all for specific members. Came with a photo book of the specific member, and then like on the CD was this new other plastic cover that made it look like the girls were like standing on the CD and like peeking through different like parts of the book, whatever, like their little like characters living in the book. It was really cute. But so that.
Yeah, so that's like one where you got to get all of them. That's totally a trend too to do. Like when I was looking at some today, it would be like, you know, they release the white and the black version and it's the same album but there's 2 covers or whatever.
17 has one that's like 3 albums. It's for their it's an album called Alone. And they actually do look like hardback cover books. That's the point. So like when you put them on the shelf, they just like blend in. They're really pretty. They're like very classy. And so like they actually are books and the CDs themselves are member specific. So each CD is printed with like one of the members' face, like a close up face. It's really pretty. And then some of the other ones like NCT comes out with like 4 different versions of their albums and like each one has a set of stickers with their faces on it. But then sometimes the packaging gets really creative. So like FX has one of the agreed upon like best packaging. It's called
Pink Tape.
The Pink Bible is also what it's called by fans. But the Pink Tape, which came out in 2013, and it's packaged to look exactly like a VHS tape. It's so cute. But I also found in my search, I found this one for Miss A's. It was a single that they released, so it only had 3 tracks on it, but it was called Bad But Good, and the case itself is a triangle. It's a little book.
Yeah.
It's a black triangle, and the cover of it is just like so the cover is black, and then there's a photograph of like 2 girls' legs, like the back of her legs, wearing fishnets and like a leotard. So against the black background, you like just see the legs themselves, because the leotard like blends into the rest of it.
Yeah.
It's so cute.
And it's bad but good because it's a triangle, and how are you supposed to put this on a shelf?
Yeah, so
like
true.
It works in both ways. That's a thing that I saw a bunch, is like album packaging that gets creative but then is therefore hard to put on a shelf. One that I found when I was looking through lots of people's like pictures of their K-pop album collections or whatever, one that people tend to keep in the front and not tuck into the shelf is G-Dragon's Heartbreaker album.
I was just gonna bring that one up
because it has a 3D a 3D face like popping out of the plastic on the front.
Because
So-
they actually used a mold of his face
Right.
to make the CD cover.
So fans had all kinds of fun with this. People decorated their own, like painted it, put wigs on it. People used it as like
An
a
ice
cake,
tray.
yeah, ice tray, cake molds, like whatever. But because it's not a square and you couldn't slide it into the shelf, I saw on lots of people's like pictures. It's a good strategy. Like you have to display it prominently because you can't tuck it in.
Because you physically cannot tuck it into a shelf.
2 p.m. has an album like that as well. It was for their My House album.
I didn't see that one. I don't know what that looks like.
It looks like a close up on the keypad and the doorknob on a door, and it was popped out like enough, like it was like you had molded the keypad on a door.
Yeah.
But a lot of reviews of that album, people hated it because it wasn't easy to put in the shelf, and the plastic they used was super cheap, so it dented would like stay dented. So that was kind of a bummer.
That's too bad. But that whole comeback was kind of rushed and like not given.
Kind of a bummer.
Not
Yeah.
all in all,
around.
a bummer. One package that I saw that was really fun. TVXQ has an album called Spellbound, and so the box itself looks like a huge deck of cards. And then inside of it is just the CD and but the photo book is in the form of an actual deck of cards. So there's 52 different pictures of the members alone or
just
the
the
members
two of
together.
them.
Yeah, just the two
So
of them.
they get a lot of cards each because
Yeah, and there's like a whole deck. You can play with the whole thing, or you can actually play with it. The other one I found that I really liked was size 6 Rules Part 1. It looks kind of like a tuna can.
Okay.
And it comes with like plastic. It's like covered in
is that the one
plastic.
where he's like a mermaid in the
Yes.
windows all the way around?
He's a mermaid in the windows all around, like you're looking at like through the windows of a submarine. It's like a really goofy cartoon of him as a mermaid, but the CD itself is also like it's like a watercolor version of him as a mermaid in this cartoon, and then in the back it like also has. It's supposed to look like a water droplet. I think was
okay.
that's why it's wrapped in plastic. But that was the cartoon is really cute.
Another one we brought this up earlier, but it was a very interesting way for an album to be put out, which was Chinese 101 was also released on cassette.
Oh yes, because it had that retro vibe.
For the retro vibe.
Just an actual like no frills cassette tape.
Yeah, one of my greatest regrets in this life is one time when I was in Korea, I was running through the subway in Busan, and I ran past a record store that had a display of some shiny cassette tapes, and I didn't have any money. I was trying to find an ATM. I rushed on past it and thought another opportunity would come, and it didn't, and I regret it every day.
I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
It's truly heartbreaking. Not to like abruptly change the subject, but do we want to talk about historic albums, like best sales?
Okay, yeah, I have one more weird one, and then we can totally get into that. G-Dragon coming up again for being really extra. An album that he put out last year. He put it out on a USB drive. So it was not a CD, and it wasn't a tape, and it wasn't a vinyl. It was a USB drive. And you take it out of the package, and it was like kind of red. And then if you took the USB out and like fiddled with it and went to plug it into your computer, it got red all over your hands. So people, when the album came out, were like, how crappily was this made? All the red is coming off. And then YG and G-Dragon were like, it's supposed to symbolize the placental blood of a newly born baby. And it's like supposed to rub off. And Helika took off her headphones. She's running around the studio.
Oh my God, that's so gross.
Isn't it gross?
Oh, fuck you, G-Dragon. That's disgusting. Oh my God. Keep
Sorry.
your placental blood to yourself.
I know. Sorry. I just had to get that one out before.
That is horrifying.
So let's find out.
So if you ever buy a K-pop album, beware.
Beware. There might be some kind of artistic fucked up thing about it that like you're not
garbage.
aware of.
Yikes.
Yeah. Whew. Art.
Quote unquote art.
So let's tell me about albums. Like, what are the albums that have sold the most actual physical copies? Like,
Okay, so
which ones? Who wins?
well, let's see. There's right now, the way that they keep track of this is with a music chart called the Gaon Music Chart, which was established in 2011. And it's actually the music chart is run in a conjunction with a government organization called the Ministry of Culture, Sports, and Tourism. They're also responsible for running like the National Museum and the National Library. So they're sort of like the governors of culture in Korea. And so they work with the Korea Music Content Industry Association to keep track of all of these album sales. It started in 2011. And according to them, so since 2011, the most number of albums in yearly top 10 bestseller list. So they created this chart in order to compete with like the Billboard music charts, not compete, but like have something of their own to like keep track of their music since K-pop was getting big. So most number of albums in the yearly top 10 bestseller lists is number 1, EXO, with 18 albums that have been on a yearly top 10 bestseller list, which is like record breaking in a huge variety of ways. I got sucked into a Wikipedia wormhole reading all about EXO because of how many different records they've broken. We could have a whole episode just on them, but I won't go into it now. Google it if you really want to know. But from 2013 to 2017, pretty much every single album they've ever put out has made it onto the top 10 bestseller list. And so they had 18.
Okay.
Do you want to guess how many the next group had? Like they're number 1. Do you want to guess what the difference is, the discrepancy between 1 and 2?
Maybe the next one's like 10.
Close. It is 8.
Okay.
So with 8 is Super Junior.
Okay.
From 2010 to 2015. And then Girls' Generation and BTS are tied for 3rd with 6.
Okay.
Yeah. So EXO just like stomping over all of it.
So let's get into for a second how EXO, a group that's only existed for 5 years, can have 18 albums. Like, what do you mean 18 albums?
Yes, that's a perfect
talk about that.
segue.
So I feel like because this packaging and all of this stuff and collecting these albums is so important, even a single, just a plain old single, will get this full album treatment.
Yep.
To sell stuff.
Yeah,
you gotta
like
sell these albums and put the pictures out and get the...
The example that I gave, the Miss A, the triangle one, is just for a single. So that was not, their full album came later. So let's talk a little bit about like the order that this music gets released in.
Sure.
So if it's their very first album, it's going to be called a debut. Otherwise, every single album that comes after that is either called a comeback or a repackage.
Right.
And sometimes the repackage can signal like a sort of different comeback. And we're going to talk about what that means in just a minute.
Sure.
So they start out with the teaser images, right?
Teaser images. Like if this is a brand new group we've never seen before, we're going to get some teasers. For new groups, they usually give you like actual introductions, like this one is named this, like so that you can sort of get to know this like new group that's coming out. Then we'll get our like teaser for the music video.
So we get images, like we said earlier, to show you what each member looks like in this new album, whether it's a debut or a comeback. And then you get sort of the like 5-second, 10-second clips. And then they release the music video, right? That usually comes first.
I think so. I don't think there's like a hard and fast rule about how to do it.
But just sort of the general order that they follow. It's like teaser images, then music video, and then a live performance.
Yeah, those debut stages that we told you
and
about.
comeback stages on all those music shows that we did a whole episode about. So those performances come out, usually, like we said before, include the lead single that the music video is of, and then sometimes a secondary single or like a B-side.
Right.
At what point in this music video, teaser image, performance releasing, does the album actually come out?
That is, I think, depends on a lot of factors. Like, for example, this current NCT mess that has like been upsetting me so much. A couple of weeks ago,
Can't go into that right
they put out one single that was an NCT U single. Then they did a second NCT U single. Then they put
But
out...
that second NCT U single only had two of the members.
Sure. But then they put out a third song, NCT Dream. Still, none of this music is still... You can't, at this point, you still couldn't buy it
You
on
can buy
iTunes.
the music videos, but not the actual songs.
Couldn't buy the songs anywhere. There's still no physical album. NCT 127 puts out the fourth single, still no album. Then once they did that, they finally did this whole announcement of we're NCT 2018. We're going to be promoting as all 18 members. Then the album finally appeared last week. So there was like a whole month of music being out, being promoted on music shows, but there still wasn't a physical album. So I don't think there's any... I thought that was weird. I think the point I was trying to make is that
like
you don't...
trying to figure out what they are.
The point I was trying to make is that you don't, I guess, have to have a physical album ready if you don't want to. But like we talked about on our music shows, when we were going through all of the criteria for winning trophies on music shows, physical album sales is part of it. So,
so
if
maybe
you want to be competing, I would assume after your you would want your physical album to be out after your first week of promotion so that you can start being eligible to win music shows.
Yeah, so maybe they release like the teaser images and the music video, and then around the time that they release in between releasing the music video and then promoting it on music shows, they release the album so that the sales can factor into the music shows. And then, so that will be like their main album. So let's say, for example, like, EXO released Kpop over the summer. That's their main album. Released, because they're ridiculous, a teaser for each member. So there's like 2 weeks.
2 weeks
of videos coming out every day. Then the actual video, then the album, then the promotions. And then maybe like a couple months later, 2 or 3 months later, they'll release a repackage of the album. And this is going to come with a complete literal repackaging of the CD itself. It's going to have, a lot of times they change their hair and their style and like their costumes for the
it's a continuation of the last album,
and the CD itself is like the same CD that they released a few months ago, plus 3 songs.
2 to 5 extra
Mm-hmm.
songs.
And sometimes, like for Shiny, with after One of One, they released One and One. And that wasn't really retro style in particular. It was kind of like a weird, sexy Mod Podge of like velvets and velour. I don't know, and like silk. And that was like, you could just buy that album and it had 5 songs on it. It was almost like a little mini album.
Yeah. And there's so many different kinds of albums that people put out. Like it's all just like a bunch of hooey, like to get tracks finished and to get money made. Like if we're going to be really cynical about it, but like, you know, cause there's full albums and there's mini albums and there's EPs and there's LPs, and it's just sort of like, how many songs do you have ready? Like,
yeah, and they'll release just the single with like 2 other songs maybe, and then they'll release the whole album, and maybe it has that main single, but it doesn't have the other 2 songs or whatever.
And then really big groups like EXO and BTS like tend to do these like Christmas specials or summer specials where they just like sell you the last 2 albums, but it comes with a fan towel and like and a poster.
Except for EXO, because their winter albums are like all new songs.
Sure. But
they don't promote them in the same way. But for something like a repackage, like they're going to promote that in the same way that they promoted the original Comeback, which would be like with teaser images and a teaser video and a music video and performances.
Yeah, it's like, it's not different.
The winter album is just, here's a CD.
Sure. Yes, I guess so. But it's just a way to buy more albums to put on your on your shelves.
You know, we've mentioned before, capitalism is a sincere driving force in K-pop.
Everyone's just trying to make a little money.
And even like the winter albums, like Universe, they did release that with like a fancy package and a photo book, and they did release teaser images for it. They just didn't really go on music shows.
Yeah, but I feel so there's just so many opportunities to be making all of these albums.
So anyway, to continue with like that, so they have all these albums. This is how they release them. The current bestseller of, so like once they start releasing the teaser images, they also start taking pre-orders. Like, this has not always been the case since the inception of K-pop, but now in the current market, they do pre-orders because buying these collectible albums is such a big deal. And so right now, with the like most number of pre-orders, the first ever group to reach over 1 million pre-orders is BTS, their most recent album called Love Yourself, Her. And it came out in September of 2017. It includes their song DNA, which was really big. And they sold over 1 million pre-orders. It's the first in history to do that on the Gaon chart. And it's also like the #1 seller of 2017. But it is not the best of all time, like total sales. That's the most sales in 1 year, right?
Okay.
But so most sales of all time, this actually holds the Guinness Book of World Records for most sold, is an album called Wonderful Encounter from 1995 by a man named Kim Gun-mo. He's a like pop ballad singer. The top three are all pop ballad singers or whatever that I'd never heard of. But so Wrongful Encounter sold 3.3 million total in all of its time since 1995. Also, we've talked about them before, So Taiji and the Boys. They're #4 on that list. From 1995. And then the only name that I recognized on the best of all time total sales list was G.O.D. with their 2000 album, which was called Chapter 3 Lies. Wow. And they sold a little, like 1.8 million.
Wow.
So that's sort of the range, like 3.3 to 1.8 million total sold. And right now, BTS is like almost going to kick G.O.D. off that list because they're not quite at 1.1 million. They're like 1.05.
Wow.
So they're really close to making it on that list themselves.
Yeah. And one more like thing about how this album sales are like serious business. There's like a bit of scandal. There's a term called 사재기, which is chart manipulation, which is where companies get accused of buying up a whole bunch of albums and putting them in a warehouse somewhere to like,
boost the
game
sales.
the charts. This often happens, I feel like, when like newer groups that like have never had a hit before suddenly have a hit and like win music shows, people start to get real bitter and like accuse them of chart manipulation. I know it's happened before, like people have had to like pay fines and like, admit to that stuff.
But truly, like, fans love a good conspiracy, so it's always worth fact checking when you hear those things.
Yeah, totally.
Just for those of us that are out there Googling and exploring, like, always see if you can find it on more than one source before you take it as truth.
So, if you are listening to this and you would like to start a K-pop album collection of your own, where can you go to do those things? I did a little bit of research for y'all to try and help out. The most popular site to get albums is K-Town for You. That's K-Town with the number 4 and the letter U. That's the most popular site to get albums from. They have a good selection. There's another website is yesasia.com. They have free shipping, but it's a $39 minimum order to get from them. There's also a lot of stuff on eBay. And possibly it's always worth checking out if you live somewhere where there is a Korean grocery store.
Or like a Korean mall.
Go check it out. They might have a lot of Korean grocery stores have like extra stores upstairs or like around the corner, like hairdressers or whatever. And a lot of them have like album or DVDs or whatever. You can get K-pop albums there.
Also, if you live in a town that has a Chinatown portion, sometimes Chinatown stores will have like if it's a Chinatown like Video Mart or something, sometimes they'll sell K-pop stuff as well.
Yeah, and there was one, you've been out of town this week, so we couldn't go, but I wanted to try to take a podcast field trip before we did this episode. There's a place here in LA called Music Choice, and it's a K-pop album store, but they also sell online. So a lot of people may be getting albums from this place. That's just in a mall that we could go to if we want to go check it out.
We'll have to go.
Yeah, I want to go see. Most of the albums I've ever seen in person have been at KCON.
Yeah. KCON always had like big festivals and
Any
stuff.
kind
will
of like
have that.
Korean festival, someone will fill a table with
Yeah,
albums.
if it's Korean culture or food or
Yeah. So if you want to get some albums, that's great. Those are some places that you can get some.
start your collection today.
Doing research for this episode has made me be like, oh, maybe I do want a couple.
Some of them are super pretty. Like those 17 ones that are books. Not that I think would actually buy them, but they are really pretty to have on your shelf.
Yeah. And so one recommendation I was going to make to the listeners, if perhaps you've never even heard about this kind of K-pop album thing and you don't even know what we are talking about and you want to like see some of these, or if you're just, if you like unboxing videos and that stuff, there is a woman named Tina Davidson, 2 S's in Davidson, on YouTube. And she has every K-pop album like ever made. And she makes these videos. She has immaculately painted nails and a kind of interesting accent. And she'll just like open them up, and she always like strictly reviews the packaging. Like I can't tell if this girl even likes K-pop. Like I really can't, because she'll just be like, see, this plastic is kind of cheap. Or she'll be like, oh, this one opens very easily. Like look at those flat staples. Like she's truly just talking about
like
the packaging.
the quality of the packaging itself. Almost from like an engineering standpoint.
But she'll like open them all nicely, and then she patiently and slowly, without talking over them, flips through the entire photo book, so you can just look at all of it. And I think she has all of them. Like it looks like she has all of them. And she says that her career is an archivist. So I think she just really likes collecting stuff.
She's just a collector.
Yeah. And she has a bazillion K-pop albums. So if you want to like see a couple, I recommend her channel. There's a million YouTube channels for this, but she has the most steady camera work, and like I like her videos the best.
Like truly another example of the greatness of the international fandom community in K-pop, because if there is merch of some kind, I guarantee you there's also a video of somebody opening that merch and showing you that merch, and like so you sort of kind of get to vicariously experience it whether you bought it or not.
Yeah. So I think that pretty much wraps up K-pop albums. Like you got a lot of extra fans.
Wraps it up.
Yes, wraps it up. That's perfect. I love it. I'm not going to say anything else. I'm going to leave it there. We'll be right back with our random game. We're back.
And this time we got a sexy man
Sexy man group
that we had never heard of.
We thought we'd never heard of them, but we'd seen them around.
We've seen their abs.
They're called History. That's
History.
it. History. Nothing, not spelled any weird
Nope,
way.
just straightforward.
Just
capital
History.
H. That's it.
This was the first boy band put out by Lowen Entertainment.
We mentioned them briefly during our company's episode because they manage IU, who's a successful solo artist that I know we've talked about a couple of times before.
And it seems like in the debut of this group, they used IU as a jumping off point. Like, you like her, right? So they had her like do some voiceover.
Yeah, she's a narrator. She's a narrator in one of their songs, and she also the first teaser video that they released when debuting this group starred IU.
Yeah.
And then they subsequently released a video for each member. So she was the first face you saw attached to History.
Yeah. So they debuted in April 2013 and they disbanded in May 2017.
Due to all of the members needing to enlist in the Korean military service, which is compulsory for men, ages 18 to 32, I think, are the ages that you like have to enlist.
We've never brought this up before because I want to do a whole episode about it.
Yeah, so that's all we're going to say on it now because it impacts K-pop in a huge variety of ways. I mean, mostly the same way over and over again, but it's a big deal. We'll talk about it later.
Yeah. So, but it seems like all of these guys like are still signed with the company, and when they get back, probably intend to keep doing this.
I don't know if they intend to keep going with History. It does say on their Wikipedia that after their military service, they'll be focusing on individual activities. Okay. So they might not. So History might be History.
Okay. Oh, because they are History has disbanded.
Has officially disbanded.
That's true.
They're not
it's
like
the
on
end
hiatus.
I see.
So they're it seemed like they'd released maybe 5 different EPs and albums. I, again, like, I'm not very familiar with any of their songs. So the video we're going to watch is called Queen. But in looking them up, I did recognize the screen grab from their song Might Just Die. And the only reason that I recognize that is because it's featured in, so the screen grab is them like lifting up their shirts and presumably body rolling. But so that move is featured in a variety of compilation videos of like sexiest K-pop dances, but also in a compilation that compares band
like
moves.
the hypocrisy of the way that boys and girls get treated.
So that move that History does, like they were allowed to do that on music shows, but then the video I watched like cut to a girl group that I can't remember doing the exact same move, and they were not allowed to do it on music shows. So History making history.
Not fair, man. Not fair. Okay, let's watch this Queen video. I'm very intrigued. This was one of the last, looks like the last comeback that they had before their disbandment.
5th EP, which was called, what was it? Him. All capitals.
Yeah. All right. Cool.
Here we go. Okay. Party scene right away.
Oh, drinking
bad
booze
boys
out of a paper bag.
Oh, I've seen this music video before. I've totally seen this music video. I actually really dig this one.
Okay. I'm dancing already.
So they look like really badass with like leather and beanies, but it cuts between them dancing and them in like a really weird abandoned basement house. One of them is like in a tub.
One of them is shirtless. One of them is wearing a Cosby sweater.
Yes.
Oh,
working
yes.
out. Get it.
This is my kind of music video. I love Beast Idol groups. Their choreography seems to have a lot of cool like lifts and like they're like climbing on each other and doing like cool stuff.
Fun formations.
But these cutaway scenes are leading me to believe there are only 2 members in this group. It's like one of those times where someone's not getting enough attention.
We didn't even look up how many members
there were
they
5.
Had. Oh yeah, there's 5. It does. Oh no, that guy's different.
But you know, these like cutaway scenes for the house have just been like sweater guy and shirtless guy.
No, I think there's 2 shirtless guys.
Oh, okay.
There was the one that was working
3.
out, and then there was the one
now
in
there's
the tux.
barber chair guy, so that's 4.
Ooh, I like the one in the tux. He looks nice. Oh, bathtub guy, I got a bathrobe on. I dig the song, too.
Yeah, this is fun.
And I did like the saxophone in it earlier. I like that they go from like looking super grungy to a cutaway scene where they're all in suits. I love groups in suits.
I know. This is like hitting a lot of
a lot of faves. Plus that boxer dude is real hot. He's a nice back. Obligatory rap break. Here we go. Oh, so many hip thrusts.
They know what they're doing. Yeah, that one with the undone bow tie is incredibly attractive.
The one with the glasses is nice too.
This is a pretty good looking group.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, there's a throne. One of them is ascending to the throne.
Oh, they're piecing together puzzle pieces on the throne seat that create a picture of a queen.
Oh, then they're gonna get a lady.
Oh, I wonder if she'll manifest. No.
Oh.
Damn, looking good, boys.
A light appeared on the throne.
I was into that one. That was good. Thanks, boys.
Cool. That was history. I might have to look into them more. I think we're definitely going to watch the shirt raising one as soon as we're done with this episode.
Yeah, 100%. I might buy this song, though. That was fun. I liked it.
Yeah. Awesome. Cool. I love being surprised by a group.
Me
that we
too.
get
Check
on
that one out. That was
on
good.
the random game. Okay, so before we get into recommendations today, I wanted to share a special announcement about a fun thing that we're going to try to do. So,
And also maybe promote this event to anyone that's in LA
Yeah.
and doesn't know about it.
totally. Okay, so to start off, on April 28th, Angelica and I and a lot of other people, and could be you if you are in the Southern California area, the Korea Times, which is a newspaper, puts on a music festival every year for the last 17 years at the Hollywood Bowl. And they bring out all kinds of Korean acts, K-pop acts, trot singers, like adult contemporary ballad sing. They get everybody.
And it used to be, I mean, this year is definitely more K-pop centered than like it was even just 2 years ago, because Shannon and I got a chance to go to this. We didn't go last year. We went the year before.
Because I was still in Korea, or I'd gotten back from Korea the day before last year.
But they
so
also,
I didn't go.
I feel like, didn't have that many recognizable
A-Pink was
going
gonna
to
be there, so I was like,
but we'd seen them before.
it was fine.
Anyway, so the first time that we went, which was 2 years ago, that was actually the first time that we got to see Shiny.
Yes.
And who else was there? AOA was there, and Red Velvet was there.
FT Island was there.
FT Island. Yeah, but they also had a lot of like sort of weirder acts. Like they had that one that was like sort of performance art with the knives.
Yes.
Remember they like chopped
Yes.
stuff rhythmically?
Yes.
And then they had a bunch of beautiful trot singers, and they had that one where the woman was a trot singer, and then the guy like
Did
pop and
interpretive
locked or
dance,
something.
like pop
they were
and
like a
lock dance.
married couple
Yes.
or something.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
That was crazy. But so they used to have a lot more like weird variety acts. This year seems to be way more K-pop centered. But so like Rain is coming.
Yes, Rain
Red
is the
Velvet
headliner.
is coming. NCT 127,
Yes.
I believe, is the version of NCT that's going to be there. Who else?
B2B or
BTOB.
BTOB. I don't know how you say
Yeah.
it.
Oh.
Because it's
I always
capital
thought it was
B,
BTOB.
little T-O, capital
Oh,
B.
you're right.
I don't know. But anyway, they're coming.
To be.
They're coming.
BTOB. I don't
And EXID is coming.
Yeah.
So here's what we're thinking.
So in celebration of this beautiful K-pop that we
Yes.
love.
Last time when we got to go to the Shiny concert, we mentioned this in our fan episode. We bought aqua glow sticks for Shiny and we passed them out to people in our section, like, because we wanted Shiny to see us, and it was fun, and it filled me with great joy.
Yeah.
So this year, I want to do the same thing. I have a big order already placed for pink glow sticks for Red Velvet, purple for EXID, white ones for Rain. His is silver. That's close enough.
Yeah.
Blue for B2B, BTOB,
BTOB.
and green for NCT 127. And we wanted to just like spread the love again and pass these out. But since we were talking on the podcast about both the importance of light sticks and fan colors and the joy of participating in a fan project, I thought we'd turn this into a fan project.
Yeah.
So-
our very first AMA K-pop fan project.
Yeah, so I made a GoFundMe page. You can find it at gofundme.com/AMAK fan project. If you even give us $1, like $1 gets 3 glow sticks.
And we've, like Shannon said, like she already placed the order for the
I'm
glow sticks,
doing
so
this
we're
already.
going to do this like regardless of fan listener contributions.
But if you guys
want to
give us-
participate,
Yeah, if you want to participate, I can get more glow sticks. If people give us more money, that would be awesome. And you'll have participated in spreading joy at a K-pop concert. We're gonna put little tags on all of the glow sticks that say, brought to you by the hosts and listeners of the Ask Me About K-pop podcast. So your contribution will be known.
and we'll just sort of, so like if anyone is A, wondering what we're going to do with these glow sticks, and B, like considering going to the Korea Times Music Festival, tickets are still on sale, and also like you'll be able to find us just sort of like outside one of the entrances. It's at the Hollywood Bowl.
Yeah.
So we'll be outside one of the entrances, and we will just be giving these glow sticks away
Yeah.
like for free. Like
it just depends on how many dang glow sticks we can get. So if you want to help us buy some, then let's do this.
And if you want to like go to the festival and then help us like pass them out or take some for us,
just send us
or
an email.
whatever,
Let us
yeah.
know. Yeah. So
Or
that's
just
what we're
come by
doing.
and get one for yourself.
Yeah, definitely. So that's what we're going to do. Fan project. And this episode will post on March 28th. So we'll have exactly a month till then when you're
Perfect.
hearing
Plenty
this.
of
So
time.
yeah, hit us up. And if you have any trouble with the GoFundMe or just email us, we're very easily reachable. Yeah. Okay. So that's announced. Recommendation time.
Recommendation time. I think I can read mine from across the table over here. Do you want to go first? Do you want me to go first?
You go first.
Okay, so in my searching for the fun K-pop packaging, I really loved the packaging of Miss A's single,
The triangle one.
Yeah, the triangle one. It's very cheeky, pun intended. And so I watched the music video for their lead single because I've heard of Miss A a lot, but I don't know any of their music. I didn't know any of their songs. And so I watched the music video for Bad Girl, Good Girl.
I love that song.
Have you ever watched the music video? It's great. So that's my recommendation. It's super fun. It's badass flash dance. They're all in black and they're at a performing arts school or something. And they're just sexily dancing and doing the splits and incorporating ballet. And the song is super fun. It starts with each one of them saying, "You don't know me, so shut up, baby." And it's so cute and fun. I loved it.
Great. That's a good one. So this week, I am actually going to break form. And instead of giving a recommendation, I am going to ask for recommendations. Because, ladies and gentlemen listening to this podcast, I have decided to stan GOT7. No.
Oh,
Put the
I thought we
horns
always
in.
liked GOT7. I own so much GOT7.
But I'm fully in it now.
Oh, you're going to learn all their names.
I know all their names.
Oh, I see. You're in Auguste now?
Yes.
I gotcha.
That's what I meant. I've fully converted.
I see. Okay, fair enough.
So I'm reaching out to any Agases who are listening. Send me, what do I need to see? I was sick last month and I started watching Real GOT7 on Netflix, and that's where this all began. I've always liked their music. The last two albums did nothing for me, and that was disappointing.
Didn't love Hard Carry.
Yes, but I've decided, I've recently fallen deeply in love with all of them. And this new album is great. So I've seen Real GOT7 and I've seen all their Weekly Idol episodes, and I've seen that really funny clip where they're all singing into those microphones that make their voices weird. But if there are if there are essential GOT7 things I need to see, send them my way. I want recommendations this week.
Nice. Good. What is your favorite GOT7 song? For a listener who maybe doesn't know GOT7, what's your favorite song?
I think my favorite song is still Just Right, but it also might be If You Do. I really like If You Do.
I like that song except for the Australian talking break in the middle, but I would say I also love Hajima.
Oh, yes. Stop It, Stop It. They're second single. Yes.
That one's a good one too. And the dance is really cute.
Yeah.
GOT7 is a fun group.
I know, and I love them now. And it feels so good.
Well, congrats on,
Thank you.
on joining a new fandom.
Thank you. Yep. So that's it. If you need to know where to send me those recommendations, you can find us on Twitter at AMAKPopPod, Instagram at AMAKPopPod. If you want to send us an email, AMAKPopPod@gmail.com.
And did you already say Tumblr?
Oh, and AMAKPopPod.tumblr.com is where all the links for every episode are, and I'll put the links for the fan project as well, and we'll be tweeting those and stuff and all that. So there you go.
Yeah.
Oh, next time we're going to be talking about dancing.
Yay, choreography, which is truly my favorite thing about K-pop.
Oh,
That's what drew me in. And
Oh,
I
yeah.
can't wait to talk about it.
Great. Okay, see y'all then.
Bye.
Bye. Jonghyun, your inspiration.